I'm an artist. I'm always looking for fun combinations of colors to use in my pieces. And that got me thinking, what would it be like to paint in ultraviolet? It would be like trying to paint in air, wouldn't it? You can't really paint with light, but that's what we've been doing all along, isn't it? Color doesn't really exist, but light does. Our eyes are like a translator, turning light into a language our brains can understand. The crystalline lens focuses the light into our retinas, and cone cells are like our color interpreters. We have 3 types of cone cells, red, green, and blue. These 3 make up the light wheel. It's kind of like the color wheel in art. They combine to create all the quote-unquote colors that we can see, which is from about 400 to 700 nanometers. But the entire electromagnetic spectrum is way bigger, meaning there are thousands of potential colors out there, like the ultraviolet. Why do our eyes refuse to see something that we're being showered with by the sun all the time? Well, it turns out that those light translators are smarter than we think. UV light hurts our retinas. The reason we can't see it is because our crystalline lens is absorbing the UV before it can get there. It's like our own biology is blinding us from the light that we want to see. So how can we ever see UV? Believe it or not, some humans actually have a 4th type of cone, in addition to the RGB. RGB are still there, but a new and completely different type of cone has joined them, one that sometimes has the power to see into the UV. And there's also a second way to see UV, removing the crystalline lens entirely, a process more commonly known as cataract surgery. One notable individual who had this sensation occur was Impressionist painter Claude Monet. So what does the world look like to them? In either case, seeing into the UV has been described as the world with a slightly bluish tint. The blueness becoming more prevalent the smaller the wavelength, and being able to tell between substances more easily, depending on whether they absorb UV or let it pass through. So Nicole, are you telling me the only way to see UV is to surgically remove our crystalline lens or grow an extra type of cone? Oh, if there was only a way to harness UV and reflect it back at a longer wavelength that our eyes can translate into color. Wait a minute. There are actually substances capable of doing that, with the help of phosphors, which when exposed to UV light absorb and reflect it back into the visible spectrum, making them glow. However, in these cases, the color we're perceiving still isn't raw UV light, but it is a taste of what it might be like to see a glimpse of UV with our natural vision. And maybe phosphors hold the key to finally being able to paint with a different spectrum of light.